Did you know the entire meaning of this rocket goes directly back to Hollywood? And I don't mean a little bit, I mean in every single way. Obviously this image is not real, but really what is real? If you've already seen this part, just hold on because we'll get to the really crazy stuff in 1 minute. So first, it was at 8:33 and T-minus 33, oddly. But look at this, you can see these wrinkles and what looks to be plastic. This is right off of Fox News. Fox, Not a Mockingbird News. What's wild is it looks exactly like an inflatable. We totally know that's not true though, but why are they showing this on Fox, Not a Mockingbird News? Now, even though that thing looked like an inflatable, we do have something in the sky, of course going at a 45-degree angle like always to fall in the ocean. Just kidding, that's a joke. A joke. And then we have videos like this. But it just goes to ask question, why the inflatable on the news then? By the way, completely unrelated, they have super lifelike, like hyper realization holograms that they can put in the sky now, who knew? Let's get into Hollywood, because why is it that one of the astronauts literally, for real, look it up, played a part in Star Trek? And that's not all, it gets much, much deeper. All the paid creators on Twitter post the same exact message right before it happened. Why? Because it's a freaking ritual. But did you know that Artemis, the name of the rocket, or Diane the Huntress, actually goes a whole lot deeper? It is exactly Hollywood. We'll get to that in a minute. So on Paul's day, they have Ephesus, who are worshippers of goddess Diane, or Diane the Huntress, which fell down from Jupiter. Diopedes, meaning Zeus, so the image fell from Zeus himself, and then Artemis is actually Diane. You ready for the craziest part? This location is Hollywood, Rome of Nemi. So how does the Huntress Diane in English or Artemis in Greek fit into this? She was the ancient pagan deity of Hollywood, of which there are some are called Mere Diane or Lake Diane of Nemi, where they would do all their rituals. Come back to the rituals in a minute. Also, Hollywood, synonymous with Hollywood, it's where they would get the wood for their magic wands. So Artemis was literally the god of Hollywood, and guess what they did at Mere Diane? Let's just say little ones will be taken out to the middle of the lake and offered up. Totally doesn't sound like the Hollywood that we know, right? And the ritual straight back to the tradition of Baal and Moloch. Fast forward 2026, the two deities in charge of Hollywood are still Artemis, like we saw on the rocket, the real rocket, and Baal. And they demand the same exact ritual. And it really does go a lot deeper, but I have a video from like a year ago on the Red Button platform you can watch. Let me know what you think. Wow, who could have guessed this whole moon mission was somehow gonna have something to do with the whole alien propaganda they've been pushing on us for literal weeks, months, years. You know, when I first heard the mission happening, of course, on April 1st, I knew somehow it was going to play in with the whole alien deception. And now, literally right now, they're seeing all these UFOs that are around on the camera supposedly on this rocket heading to supposedly the moon. Let me remind you, there is this whistleblower in 2012 who said that there'd be back and forth missile exchanges, you know, between Middle Eastern countries, let's just say that, and at the same time they would start seeing all these orbs in the sky and they'd be coming from the ocean. Yeah, this is 2012 when he said that. Fast forward, that exact situation is happening, and every single night we're seeing what they call meteors. They're exploding all over the place. This one you see right behind me just happened like 2 days ago. And again, these are the things we've been seeing over years that they keep saying is space debris, space junk, piece of the rockets, etc., or again, meteors. Mark my words, we are getting ready to see the biggest deception probably ever seen in the entire earth. When we see all these fallen angels, these demons, these flesh suits created by evil scientists, and then they slap down the final part of the plan. They say, oh my goodness, the grays are evil, the whites are good, the whites are gonna help us. Then humanity will believe the white aliens are in fact their god and their makers. Like, watch this right behind me.
This information is. I said, why? He says, if this was disclosed, it would collapse the fundamentalist orthodox belief systems of every religion on earth.
Y'all, the stuff I tell you isn't random, it's not bullcrap. I've been studying their plan for nearly 2 decades. So get ready, it's coming, and there's one name that can stop you from being prey of these demonic creatures. Yeah, it's Jesus.
Every religion on earth.
This is an emergency video. It's not what he says, it's why he's saying it. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's very important that everybody's aware what's happening and what's going to happen. So Vance comes out, as you've probably seen, and says that aliens are demons and they're doing nefarious things. Look, this is definitely a partial truth, but he's not telling you for the reason you think. Yeah, aliens as we know them are spiritual wickedness in high places of all different forms. Fallen angels, demons in flesh suits created by, I don't know, somebody.
I think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Do you know what Phil Schneider said before he passed away? Someone who supposedly knew all these things and had high connections in these places, and him himself was a high connection in this place? He said the entire world was being orchestrated from a bunch of grays above the earth, like in a spiritual dimension. And then, shortly after, something happened to him and they tried to claim he did to himself. But the family knew better. Now you know that all musicians worship Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley summoned Lamb. He looks just like a gray. They opened portals in the desert, let all these demonic things into our realm, then passed away and couldn't close it. Jack Parsons did. You can Google everything I'm saying to you right now. Like I told you on the play button, I also posted on these platforms. There is a great human coming. But this is their plan, this is in their agenda. They are going to say that the Greys are evil, but the tall Nordic whites are the good guys. And the good guys, the white ones, are going to help us take out the gray ones. And look, this is just quick and to the point. There's a whole lot more to the story. Like the destruction of all world religions to make us think that our creators are somehow these Nordic white aliens. Also that Jesus is one of them as well. This is no joke, nor is it speculation. This is what's going to happen. Let every man be a liar and let God be true. People are going to be deceived big time. Spread the word. This view you see right behind me, this is the view of so many people in Australia right now. Now, people are coming out saying that it's, because of the cyclone. But we've seen this exact shade of color when there was no storm. But did you know that right now we are being completely invaded by all kinds of unidentified flying objects everywhere? They just saw more meteors in Texas yesterday. It's like the third, fourth, fifth time. We even have AccuWeather coming out saying that we have seen more meteors in 1 month since 2012. Don't forget about how symbolic 2012 was. Remember, it was the return of the wolf. So what's happening is people are speculating that it's from, Three-Eye Atlas and it's dropping probes down, and that's what we're seeing. And that's the same thing that was technically supposed to happen when it first popped up, they said. I believe it's something spiritual, whether good or bad, because they always look different, as I've been showing you, or stay lit all the way until wherever they're going. I'll fill y'all in on the war later, because it's not good. Somebody was just betrayed. Y'all gotta see this. Why in the world is the World Economic Forum talking about a massive reduction in the human population? I'm about to play it, but this is one of the organizations that's guiding the entire Earth into the future. The future of which they always have problems with a large population. Here.
We cannot hide away from human population growth because it underlies so many of the other problems. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago.
There was 500 million people in the world 500 years ago. So you get what she's saying, right? That's literally an 18 times reduction. So let me ask you this. What happens to all those people? What do we do with all of them to get down to 500 million? Isn't it weird to say 500 years ago, which is 500 million, and then the Georgia Guidestone says keep population under 500 million? It kind of sounds like they were in communication with each other, right? That's a 93% reduction in the entire population. So with that in mind, do you trust your leaders now? This gets wild. Not only did the bullet not match the supposed weapon that was used by Tyler Robinson, which by the way was covered by a UK Daily Mail channel, not even our country. But at the same time this article came out, something else really weird happened. The sheriff that arranged for Tyler to turn himself in resigned today. Today of all days. Hold up, this gets a lot bigger. We're not even close to done yet. Right now we're hearing that there might be a plot to take out the President of the United States. But who is really against that war? Charlie was the president's biggest advisor into geopolitical relationships. Joe Kent just stepped down and said he was not able to investigate all the leads they had.
Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors, and he also advocated heavily against a war with Iran. And then, Charlie Kirk is killed publicly in a very horrific way, and we're not really even allowed to look into that at all.
Then Joe Kent right here on Piers Morgan talking about how they had foreknowledge of this event with Charlie Kirk happening. So he resigns, then the bullet doesn't match, then the sheriff steps down, they're about to have boots on the ground in Iran. And the biggest escalation we've seen yet may be on the horizon. You feel that? Something majorly is off. What do you think it is? Let me know. I have something big to show y'all. It is well over and way bigger than what Matt Gaetz just said about them making some kind of hybrid, briefed by the army. What kind of hybrid? An alien hybrid. What you're about to see right here is many insider secrets all wrapped up into the final experiment. And by the way, it's all just entertainment. A movie, perhaps.
Fake alien invasion begins. Just like Werner von Braun's assistant talking about how that's the last card, says right here, a fake alien, that's not it, that's not all. It gets crazier, but a fake alien invasion begins. Wow. MJ-12 releases synthetic alien soldiers, PLFs. Majestic 12 is declassified government documents. So is Project Blue Book. That's also declassified government document. All this Operation Looking Glass, again, declassified government documents. So all this fits in perfectly. And in a minute, we're about to get into FEMA, which I warned you would have a very strong tie in this because mega pastors were signing up with FEMA years ago because I interviewed a very high up pastor who got the invitation from FEMA with an NDA and did not take it, but he knows that a lot of them did take it.